Good evening, guys. It is Monday. It is Labor Day. So just as I say in all the videos, if you guys wanted to see something, to let me know, comment or message me somehow. Let me know that you are wanting to know some information. Well, someone did. Put that right here. And John Tell Scott, I guess his name is. He says he's going to course school in a month, fleet returnee, and he'd like to know what to expect. So that's what this video is going to be about. I had my buddy Lee, which I met him at Cuba in the hospital. He was a rad tech, radiology tech, and yeah, before he left Cuba, he was working on everything that he could to get put into the Naval Academy. That's where he's currently at. So let me go ahead and play some of his footage, and so that you can get his side of what course school was like for him. So let me play his footage for you guys.
So I was around San Antonio from 2013-ish, and normally it would be like 2 months A school, but I had C school there too, so it was like 8 months that I spent there. It's very different than normal base. There's Army, there's Air Force, and there's Navy all together, just kind of like learning about medical and everything. Test was not that hard. Like class itself and test material wasn't that hard. I had to memorize a bunch of things for the test. And practical version was pretty interesting. Like you actually do like CPR, IV, blood draw, and stuff like that. That was interesting. And then C school was very fun. Normally like core school, A school, like you work with Air Force. You don't really get to see Army, but in C school I get to see like Army people, and they were from right away from boot camp, so they were kind of like different than me. We had A school and everything. Food, I try not to eat at the defect when I have like defect is like I guess the galley of the Army. Order food, try to get it delivered, or if I go there I just go for like salad or something. Food wasn't the best, honestly. I like the naval base food better per se. And yeah, I ordered a lot of food. They actually have a delivery right to our like barracks, like Domino's and other pizza place, and you can actually order like Chinese or something like that that they deliver. And San Antonio itself was awesome. I go to Riverwalk a lot, go to the mall, and like during C school I had my friend who had a car there, so we actually went around San Antonio, went up to Austin. That was fun time. Went to Houston. We took a road trip and whatnot. That was fun. Yeah, that's about it.
That was Lee and his footage. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, thanks Lee for letting me use that. I'm going to start off with the basic of course school. So if you're coming out of boot camp and you're transferring from boot camp to course school, and then I'll get into some of the fleet returnees for what I know. So to begin with, the way that you get from basic training to A school or core school, which is in San Antonio, you usually leave on the bus from wherever your ship is at basic training. They will bus you from your ship to the airport, then all paid through the military. You can meet your family at the airport. So if you have any extra bags or anything that you want to take with you, you'll meet them at the airport, and that's where you will get on the plane there. You will have some other corpsmen, or they're not corpsmen yet, but they're at course school, and they basically volunteer, which you can do it as well once you've gotten so far through A school. You can volunteer to pick up the new guys. So that's going to be on Fridays or on Saturdays. So if you're not standing watch, and sometimes you can also get off watch if you volunteer to do this. So if you are if you're able to, I would highly recommend at least doing it once or twice, giving it a chance. But what you're doing is you're going to go to the airport, and you're going to wait for those guys to pick you up, guys or females. So they'll pick you up. They'll already be there at the baggage claim. If they're not there, you just pick up your bags as a group, and then you'll wait there at the USO and the San Antonio airport. That's where we flew into. Once they get there, if the bus is already there, ready to take you guys, then you're going to take the bus to San Antonio. You're going to be in your dress whites or dress blues, depending on the season. For us, we were in dress whites. So you're going to ride the bus to San Antonio. From there, you'll get off the bus. You'll have your sea bag. You'll have whatever bag that your parents or your family brought for you, and then you will have your garment bag. You'll check in to your room at the barracks, and you're all going to check in as a group. So they're going to send you to the back classroom. You're going to check in. Probably going to be could be between 10 to 30 of you guys that are checking in at one time. It's a pretty quick process, actually. Nice size room. It's kind of like a typical bedroom, I guess you could say. And you have one head. So inside that head, just you open up the door, you're going to have one shower, one toilet, and then you have a counter. As soon as you walk in, it's going to be on your right or your left. As soon as you walk in, you're going to have a counter, 2 sinks, huge mirror, and on both sides of the wall are smaller mirrors that open up into medicine cabinets, so you can put your stuff in there as well. You have one mini fridge, and you have one microwave, and then you have 2 desks. You have a twin bed which has drawers, has 4 drawers that you're able to put stuff in, and then you also have a end table so that you can put stuff there as well. It has 1 drawer in the end table and then the opening on the bottom, just like normal end tables, and you have a little lamp there. You have a nice size walk-in closet. It's actually a big walk-in closet. Let's see, yeah, that's about it for the room. There's no divider, nothing like that. So the way that mine was set up were basically the two beds. So my roommate's head was here and mine was here. So at least we weren't looking at each other when we were sleeping. He was looking at my feet and I was looking at his feet, basically, when he'd be inside the room. So depending on how your room is laid out, where the desk is at, the beds are at, that's how that's going to be. Push people through the same process. So not much has changed, but this is usually how it goes. So your first week and a half is considered indoc. That is where you're going to have briefs. So briefs that tell you about Fort Sam, which is a Army, Air Force, and Navy base. It's also, those briefs are going to talk about Texas. They're going to talk about downtown San Antonio, just things to expect. And if this happens, this is what you do. So next is going to be going to the schoolhouse. Now that you're at the schoolhouse, you are going to be doing BLS/CPR. So that's going to be your first test on the first day of school that you're going to have. A lot of people fail it. Not really sure why. They basically give you a video and it goes over adults, children, and pediatrics, and then after lunch you come back and then you test out. So you actually do a paper test. You actually do a paper test and you do the hands-on portion. Everything goes good there. Your next day is going to start EMT. School usually runs between 08 to 1700. You're going to muster at 0630. You muster with your class in formation in front of the barracks with all of the rest of the classes, from the class that's about to graduate that week all the way to the class that just got there, like the ones that are still in Indoc. So all those classes are going to muster at 0630. You're going to march to breakfast, and then you're going to break it off. At breakfast, it is the largest, I believe it's the largest DFAC that the DoD owns. So it's 2-story, has 4 different entrances that you're going to eat at. I think you get 15-20 minutes to eat breakfast. They usually have pretty nice selection of food when it comes to breakfast, lunch, and dinner, especially dinner time. You usually have more time to eat. They always have a sandwich bar, so you can always have sandwiches, turkey sandwich, ham sandwich, tuna sandwich, or tuna salad sandwiches. They always have chips and cookies for you to have with those. They also have cake, always have fruits, things like that. So if you don't want to eat the hot stuff that's on the line, you can always have a sandwich bar, or you can just have a salad with some of the sandwich meat, which would also be good. Once you're finished with breakfast, you're going to muster out on, forget what they're called, but it's basically just a concrete platform. The Army calls them something special. That's what they're called, grinders. So you're going to muster on the grinder with your class. Everybody's going to be mustered, ready to go. And then you're going to be marching to the schoolhouse. Okay? You have to make it to the schoolhouse and march in front of the schoolhouse. You say the Sailor's Creed and what else? I think it's just the Sailor's Creed is what we say. And then we wait for colors. So colors goes off at 08. And then after colors is secured, then that's whenever we go to the Sailor's Creed. Once we're finished with the Sailor's Creed as a group, then that's whenever we fall in one by one into the schoolhouse. And the fleet returnees, most likely you're the one that's going to be the class leader, just because you've been out to the fleet and you know what is expected. And so you're held to a higher standard when it comes to teaching your class how to march, when it comes to keeping people in line, things like that. The class leader most likely is going to be one of the fleet returnees. And usually each class has a handful of fleet returnees. I think ours had like 3 to 5. There was one class that had like a first class that was a fleet returnee. So each class has a handful of fleet returnees, so you're not going to be the only one, most likely, in your class that's a fleet returnee. Now the next thing that I want to cover are going to be phases. So you have phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. I think it's just 3 phases still. Phase 1, you're going to be wearing your NSUs whenever you go out into town, as long as the FEPCONs allow you to. If not, you'll be wearing civilian clothes. Just depends on what the base has. So phase 1, I believe it's still in NSUs. You are able to leave the base. That's as soon as you get there, you're phase 1. After Indoc, and I think after you take your first EMT test, so within about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, then you could possibly, your class could be phase 2. Once you're phase 2, then you're able to stay out at midnight. Phase 1 is till 22, so you have to be back inside and checked into the barracks by 22. Phase 2, you're able to be out at midnight, and you're able to wear civilian clothes. And then phase 3, you have overnight liberty, and you have to be back by Sunday at 22, ready to start school on Monday again. You do have PT Monday, Wednesday, Friday. PT starts at 04:30. You're gonna muster same place you do in the mornings for breakfast. That's not at the DFAG, but in front of the barracks. Usually they break you off in groups, so they're gonna break you off in which is gonna be like all Navy PTing together, but it's going to be rabbits, and then there's going to be, I think they call them like turtles or just slower people. So some more about school. What's some more about school? So you get an EMT book. I'll try to post a picture of the one that we had, but pretty sure the edition has changed. But you get an EMT book. That's going to be your book. You can highlight, which I would definitely recommend as you're going through things. Highlight. You're also, once you get pretty far into EMT, you're going to be taking a test. You're going to be taking like 2 tests a week. I honestly struggled when it came to taking those tests because it's medical. Okay, so EMT, it's if this happens, this is what you're going to do. A lot of people do struggle, and there are a few people that ace their way all the way through it. For some people it's easy, some people it's not too easy. I just recommend just grasping it as much as you can. If you want to be a corpsman, honestly want to be a corpsman, give it your all. And if you do get put up in front of a board, a chief board or a first class board, they're obviously going to fuss at you for failing the test. They will see what you're doing, what are your study habits. They really work with you on trying to get you to retain the information to continue. That's pretty much it, and that kind of pertains to everyone. Now the only difference for fleet returnees, you do get to have a car, so that is a plus. 2, you are able to stay out overnight. As much as I remember, the fleet returnees were able to stay out overnight. They just had to be back to be mustered at the appropriate time in the morning. Uniform, you have uniform inspections. They'll let you know when you have those, so make sure you have C-bag inspection ready. Make sure you have your uniforms ready. Make sure that you shine your boots, shine your dress shoes. Same thing, have all of your uniform items that you required, all of your ribbons, your belt buckle, just things like that. Another huge thing that I wish I would have known about before I spent so much money is taxis and the buses. So taxis. The taxi will take you anywhere around base for $5. Also, when you go out to town, right? So right beside the barracks, on the back side of the barracks, taxis come and they take you out in town. Be careful because, for one, look at the prices. Taxis will charge you for certain fees, okay? And you can easily be charged an outrageous fee to ride a taxi downtown. Downtown can cost you $20-25, okay? Once you get downtown, now you're downtown, you've been there all day, and you're trying to get back before 2200, okay? You're downtown San Antonio, the taxis are going to be busy, everyone's trying to get back at that time. So it's very hard to get a taxi most of the time. If you're trying to rush around, it's going to be hard for you to get a taxi. Also, taxis are going to, the price of that taxi just went up because it's a different time of the day. So you have like your early morning rates, you have your afternoon rates, and then you have your evening and your night rates. So just be aware of that because the price is going to change tremendously from earlier in the day to now you're trying to get back at nighttime. And I would highly recommend, which I found this out the last handful of weeks that I was there, most of the Air Force, they're told this in their Indoc. Not everybody passes this down though. So there is a bus. There's a bus that will pick you up, and the bus picks you up over there near the DFAC. I think it is $4 or $5 for a day pass, and that is for the weekends. So that day pass will take you anywhere on the city bus. Clinicals. Clinicals is one of the best times. So that's whenever you have finished EMT, you have finished nursing, you wake up super early in the morning, and you eat breakfast at the hospital actually. So your class is going to be divided into different hospitals close to San Antonio, and you will spend a week in hospitals, in different departments of the hospital. That way you got hands-on with real patients, learning real things and how the job is actually going to be perceived as whenever it comes to you dealing with patient care. Like I said, that's going to be a week, and usually leave around, what is it, 2 o'clock I think it is whenever you head back to the base. And when you get back to the base, you're done for the day. So you usually get off very early compared to the rest of the people that are still in the schoolhouse. So you can, first in line when it comes to eating, you've already showered, or if you work out like myself, the gym is going to be empty, so you can go up and use. You have plenty of time, which is awesome. But hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you are not. If you have any questions, or if you want me to elaborate on some of the topics that I cover in this video, make sure that you comment below. Make sure you message me, DM me on Instagram, however you can to get in touch with me. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy Fort Sam. I know I did. It was basically a really fun time. It was kind of like college, which I've never been, but it was kind of felt like what college would be like. Just very, very fast paced. So make sure you're studying. Make sure you have fun, make sure you meet cool people, make sure you're working out, and yeah, just enjoy it. It's going to go by super quick. Enjoy it. Get as much as you can, and like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.